Alright, we're doing some no evidence speedruns on Ridgeview Court. I'm so happy that the event is now over on this map, so it makes it a little bit easier. Let's enable our speedrun setup. We basically just have our crew see and all of the safety evidence stuff that we need. I like to bring in a photo camera if I do get a DO, and we'll be able to get some evidence from it. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Alright. So basic things we need is our cruci, our incense and salt, lighter, and the headlamp. Fuse box should already be on, so I'm not too worried about that. And I do already hear a creak in this room, so there's a high chance that the ghost room is already here. I think the tier 3 cruci is a little bit overkill, so I might change it to tier 2 on the next run. The range is too high, like, I think. Nice early hunt, stepped in salt, stepped in all the salts. Loving objects around, but not too crazy. A little bit of line of sight speed build up. We don't have our timer on, so let me get that timer. Stopwatch. It was still going at the end there. Okay, a lot of line of sight speed build up. Like it was zooming at the end of that run. I'm sort of thinking it wasn't speed matching, so I don't think it's a... Let me leave one of these incense here. Let's make this an emotion sensor. I'm not thinking Moroi, although Moroi would still keep a lot of that speed balance there. I have a door touch. The showroom. Yeah, it is. Let's do a ghost hobbies check. No ghost hobbies. Okay. It also turned off the light. Chance it could be a mirror. But let's rule off some ghosts for now. It is a female ghost. It didn't seem to have Moroi speed, so I'm gonna rather rule off Thay. It's not a Diogen, not a Galu. Too visible to be a phantom. It's not throwing enough to be a poltergeist. Never rise your heartbeat. I didn't see a shapeshift from a Bake. It wasn't particularly slow or fast, so I'm going to say not a bomber, not twins. It didn't have revenant speed. Is that a light switch on or light switch off? Light switch off. Okay, this time a little bit slower. Okay, maybe I might be wrong on slightly fast, slightly slow. Let's reset that timer. Let me get a bomber and twins back up on here. Because that was very interesting interaction there. I'm gonna have to do a silent hunt and see if I can figure out a little bit more in this ghost to ghost. Let's actually take a firelight and see if a firelight causes the hunt. Because even though our timer is running, there's still a chance that... Okay, turn the brake off, not a gin. I didn't hear where the breaker was, so it could be upstairs, downstairs. Shadow event while I was in the room makes me already think not a shade. because it kind of invented on us. I want to get some more lanterns and the other cruci. We'll just take one more. Okay, I'm carrying so many incense. Too many incense. Oh, cruci. That time I add just under a minute or over a minute. Did we take that long? Yeah, we did. Oops. Okay, so it's already blown one out. Okay, I chose the cruci over the lanterns. That's good news. That's good news. Okay, so another Onryo. Although that the range is quite high, I don't think it's visible enough to be an Oni. And we had Abel. Or did we have Abel? Let's do a Jin. Okay, but we know it's not a Jin. This one seems slightly faster than the last one. Kinda did, yeah. Ton of line of sight speed build up. Am I gonna be able to outrun you? No. Is it quiet enough to be a myling? Turn the light on, not a mirror. Thank you for that. Reset our timer again. Okay, I'm gonna chill here in the kitchen, and let's see what else we can figure out here. It has line of sight, so not a hunt too. It had a lot of move speed after I incensed it, so not a Diane. Wait a minute. I want to check for Banshee. I know this is a really far run, but I do want to check for it. Maroi is still on the table. It hunted me while I was in the room, so I don't think Shade, not a Spirit, because it hunted under 3 minutes. I am leaning towards this Obama and Twins, because that second hunt was a lot shorter. Slower. Much slower this time. Let's listen for twin interaction. Duration of the hunt was also like normal length that time. This is either Obombo or Twins, not a Maroi. Too loud to be a myling. I think there was a room change because it was there in the bathroom and then now it went to the... It's in that hallway. Maybe I can't rule off Goryo just yet. It's not a demon, it hasn't hunted under minute 30. It's slow again. I want to time this one. was a very short hunt. With twins, there's a chance that we'll have a slow hunt and a fast hunt. I don't think it's a mimic at this point. Not a Yuri, I didn't hear any door slams. Or any door closes or full opens. I'm gonna say not a banshee at this point because it would have roamed to me. There's the hunt. Slow again. I think we need to redo our Galu check. Getting 5-second hunt. I'm gonna redo the Galu check, and then after Galu, then we'll try Yokai, and that's the last incense that we can burn. Because if it becomes an enraged Galu, let's turn the brake off. Then we'll know for sure. So let's do that, this, and this. Ghost seems very chill, and it's slow. It's been constantly slow, so I'm not gonna say mimic at this point. It got a little bit faster after going through the salt. I don't know if you guys heard that. So did it all of a sudden get enraged? Possibility. Okay, so theoretically this next hunt should be an enraged hunt. Definitely not shade with that singing event. And then the ghost should be faster. Now, if I'm being tripped out by that changing from a slow twin to a faster twin, or in the middle of its hunt, I'm leaning towards a bomber. That's just like refusing to change states. Also a very short hunt as well. Yeah. We have a video camera somewhere, right? I think the ghost did yeet it. I want to do a quick loss obbies check. I'm really thinking a bomber. I want to listen one last time because there is that chance that it's twins and it's just been rolling the slow twin every single time. I think the speed change was from it walking through the salt slowing down because it is tier 2 salt and then speeding up, but this could also be Goryo. Yeah, not a yokai. walking a little bit faster after I decided to smudge it. Okay, I'm gonna go with my instincts here. I really want to say it's a Galu because of the way it's behaving. Maybe we'll go one last final salt check. Likes to walk up the stairs. Okay, well this is gonna be a longer hunt, so we've got to wait a bit. I think it is a Galu, hey? Okay, we know it's not our only now. And that also looks like a room change. Where we put our cruci. Our cruci is here. If it's a room change, that makes things a lot simpler, because then we know it's not a Goryo. Definitely not a save because it had line of sight. Step through all souls and not erase. Too visible to be phantom. I'm just double checking. It switched off the power box earlier, so it's not a Jinn. It hasn't been roaming to me, so not a Banshee. This one sounds slightly faster now. Been hunting from the same room every single time. Every single time. And we have it on high room change. I think it's just Goryo. And my ears are tricking me. I've got to listen to it one more time because I am hearing faster speeds and slower speeds, faster speeds and slower speeds. I think this time we finally had the faster twin. See what I'm saying now? This one's walking slower. And I don't think an Bombo changes states that quickly. But I really could be fooling myself as well. Because it's hunting from the same room every single time. And it might just be a Goryo. Okay, I'm gonna go with twins. That's my final answer. Even though it hasn't done a room change, which makes it super difficult to tell whether it's Goryo or not, I'm gonna stick to twins. Please! Please be twins.
Welcome back. I've got some jobs ready for you.
Like 80% of me was saying, or let me say like 30% of me was saying it's a Galu. That's why I wanted to retest Galu. Ah, but it fooled me with the salt because every single time it was stepping through all three. Yeah, we've got to change this to tier 2, but it's fine. You know what, maybe we get a nice easy ghost, we can just in and out. Should have gone with the gallery. It was slow every single time instead of... The only time it would go faster was when I either incensed it or it stepped through salt. Took forever to get here, man. I'm gonna think that, like, if I look down this hallway, right, that's more than 2.5 meters. So I don't think it's yokai. No ghost, no banshee, no Diane. We don't know about salt yet, it hasn't made it here. It seemed quite slow. It's faster this time. Much faster. Almost like it's a different ghost. Almost like it's a different ghost, huh? I didn't incense it, I didn't do anything with that. Maybe it's just finally a freaking enraged Obambo, huh? But like that speed was much faster than normal speed. So this makes me think actually we finally have a twin. Let's watch for twin interactions. Where's your room? Where's your room? Throwing stuff around in here. We get cold breath now. Was it hallway? Okay, it's hallway. Switched on a light, not a mirror. Not a mirror, not a galley, not a race. It was faster and slower, so I'm gonna say no Diogen, no Hunter. Wait, actually it could be a Hunter because now it's made its room colder. Too visible to be Phantom, not throwing enough to be a Polty. No, no Raji Heartbeat, not a Revenant, not a Say. There is line of sight. Okay, not a spirit. Main things we can test for now is Onryo. Let's grab incense, Onryo, and that's about it. Although I did leave this candle on. I'm going to do Obi's check, just in case for some reason it was a different ghost because of being a mimic. How's the motion sense being picked up there? No Orbeez. Another light switched on. Not on Unreal. This time, pretty sure it's between breaker turned off. Pretty sure it's between a Bombo and the twins. They tried to hunt me in the room, not a spirit, not an Onro. Oni? Actually being quite visible there. I'm not a demon. I didn't see any shapeshifts, not a bake. That tells me about how visible it's been. Too loud to be a myling. Turn the power off, not a Jinn. It has line of sight to be built up, not a Hantu. Door touch was full open. Not a mimic, we checked for orbs. It's too slow to be a Moroi. There's the hunt starting. Slightly slower. Alright, let's go turn the breaker on. Hopefully it's here. Nope. We'll do a yokai test and then I think we'll rule out everything else from there. So it isn't going to be a difficult ghost to figure out because I don't think it's a Yurei and I don't think it's a yokai. Not an Oni. This gives us a chance to test for spirit again. What was that timer for? Did I incense it earlier? Is it a Demonon? I don't think it's a demon. Let's listen to some behavior. Yeah, we know it's not our Oni. It hasn't done our room change yet, so it could still be Goria. Talking to me. Feel like I'm hearing twin interactions. We did have a double door touch. Double door touch takes me to Uri. Uri. That was quite close. I haven't been hearing Raiju heartbeat, but that ghost sounded really fast when it was walking past my electronic equipment. And even the camera, you know? Was the handle after 3 minutes? No, it wasn't. You have door touch. Moved very quickly from one place to another. I'm watching you. Really can't you ride your heartbeat when it's hunting, right? Quite a shorter hunt. Now, it could also be my equipment. Now, twice there, it's been quite fast. I'm thinking of Bumbo. Door touch. Both doors fully open. Fully open. You're in. Yuri! I'm basing it off of that and nothing else. Can't leave on Yuri. I'll tell you why. I really can't. Because even though I did those door touches right, where's my parabolic? It doesn't explain faster and slower. gonna explain faster and slower. That good enough to say it's twins? Those are very far apart movements. Come on, Ghost. Give us something. Double interaction. Slower. Just a slightly off of normal speed. I'm gonna give you one last chance to prove me wrong. So that one was slow. Yeah. What are we looking for? The slightly faster goes this time, or slow again. And I want to time this one continuously, because if after 3 minutes it says that it's a speed change. The speed run has taken me 18 minutes. What?
Men go mad with watching.
Too early to be faster. I want to somehow separate these motion sensors so that if I do get a double, I know that it's 2 separate locations. Hunting again. Immediately slower. Wins. I could have picked it up a long time ago, but I had to be sure. A lot of twin interactions. Like, a part of me wants the ego leave, but I also want to get it right, so I think getting it right is a bit more important. I've got a bug on my wall, that's why I keep looking up there. And much better to be right than to You go leave this one. Alright, well, we got some good footage on twins and how they interact, so good for a learning lesson at least. And it's an Obombo.
I've got some jobs ready for you.
Of course it is. Of course it was an Obombo. Yeah, I knew it. I knew the whole time. I was just checking if you guys knew too. Just remind me. I need to change my crucie to tier 2. Well, and give us a nice ghost to deal with. I want to get a crawler. Crawler and a singer. That line of sight. The line of sight also stepped in. Not a Galu this time. Too fast to be slow fast. So at least we can roll out a bomber and twins this time. No Galu. I'm happy. I'll take any of the others. Banshee, bring it on. Mimic, bring it on. I don't care. Let's go find your room. How much time do we have left? 20 seconds. Got a candle blowout, yeah. Okay, but it had to light the candle first, right? So definitely not an Onryo because it wouldn't have been there in the first place. Door touch. Door stayed in the same place. I don't think we have much more time. Okay, standard hunting time. Hey, nice, not crawling this time. A little bit of arc to the throws. So I'm not thinking polity for now. A lot of line of sight speed build up. You know, I can't really rule out faulty because these plates have been quite heated, but they're not like in the roof and stuff. I don't have incense on me. Let's go quickly get. I know it's not an Onryo. Okay, so no Hantu, no Galu, no Race, no Dio, too visible to be Phantom, no Raiju Heartbeat, too slow to be a Revial Thay, too loud to be a Myling, we'll double check on that. Under 3 minutes, another Spirit. It also interacted with the door. Wait, but I was outside the room. It might be a room change. not too sure there. Okay, not a bomber, not twins. I know that one. They're out of here. Polty. Wasn't really throwing things around like a Polty would. It's taking its time to hunt this run. 2 minutes 10 seconds. Not a spirit. Maybe you are faulty. Some of those throws were impressive. It like yeeted it across the room. Table was quite clean after the first run as well. I had to pick everything up. I'm gonna go with Polty and be happy with it. I'm right, I'm right. I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Welcome back.
Absolutely it was a Goryo. How could I have not known? Like, it totally gave Goryo vibes the whole way through. It was singing, it was changing shape. Although it did stay in the same room the whole time. Even when I came to investigate. Door touch. Most likely gonna hunt from that side. Right here. Not right here. A lot of line of sight pulled up. I don't know why, like, these ghosts are giving me such weird vibes. Like, it was standing still, we were at chill speeds. When I started sprinting, it started sprinting. Like, my brain wants to say Diane, like, immediately. But it just went from, like, chilled state to super fast. I think it is, yeah, I just can't pick it up for some reason. That's what I'm saying. It's like it's here. But maybe it's this room. How's it throwing stuff down there and there? Room change? My earring must be off. What a multiplosion that I was listening to. Okay, it's not a... not a Diane. I think we're at 2 minutes 30 before that hunt. Came from the same room, right? I think so. I didn't switch that light on. Or did I? Or did I? No, the light's off. This room? Or breath? With this room. That was a little spooky. One right on top of me. Okay. Not a Diane, not a Dio, not a Galley, not a Race, not a Theorebi, not a Phantom. Why am I getting such boring ghosts, man? I guess it's to challenge me. The more it challenges me, the better I get. I get it. Yeah, well, at least we know it's not an Onryo, not a Raiju, not a Spirit, not a Shade, not Twins of a Bumbo. Me too loud to be a Myling? I don't know why, but I want to check temps in that room. Let's take this just for in case. I just want to make sure, even though we had the hunt right on top of us, I want to make sure that what I'm dealing with is what I think we're dealing with. Or where we're dealing with it, you know. I'm gonna evidence this ghost now. Try and figure it out. Let's get another firelight. Let's get some salt. Wait, no. Let's take a camera. Got some flashing lights there. Where do I delete my other camera? We're at normal speed. It hasn't turned the brake off yet. Where'd you eat my video camera? Oh my word, I had it on there. Okay, well. Here goes all our opportunities to chill in the room. We're gonna have to try and just figure it out. At this point, no Banshee. It hunts way too late to be a demon. It has line of sight, so not a hunt to. Still hasn't turned the breaker off. Not a Polty. Not a Mimic at this point. Hasn't done a full door open. Guess we can do a yokai test. I don't know why it seems very slow. Or is that normal speed? Did an H stay? It wasn't super speedy when we first started, right? Hasn't changed room since the beginning of the game. Why are these ghosts being so difficult today? Usually it's just rage, race, hunter, boom, boom, boom. Figure it out. Okay, it's not a phantom, so I'm not gonna take that actually. Let's take parabolic. I wonder if it's a djinn. It hasn't turned break off yet, but it also hasn't left its room. Not roaming to me, so definitely not Banshee. Not visible enough to be an Oni, right? All of a sudden it's fast. These ghosts are taking me on a loop. Right, I'm gonna do a djinn check. Look for the line of sight speed build up. And see if it sprints towards me. I really don't know. Like at this point, it could even be a freaking mare. It's so much slower. Yeah, we know it's not a yokai. I feel like at this point it's not a Oni, it's not an Obex, not a Miling, not a Moroi, not a Mare, not a Goryo, not a Jin. Even though it hasn't turned the power off. Now you're just being mean, okay? That was just mean, that was my last incense. In order to say... I'm gonna say not a Jin, it didn't have the line of sight speed build up. And it wasn't fast at all. The Bumbo Gallo twins. Why it's always these three? Every single run. Oh my word. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on Ghost. It's terrible. Three times in a row it's been these options. But we had Goryo last round. That was acting so silly. What if it's just a Goryo again? dude's playing around now. It's like eventing on me. I don't know. Gallery.
Welcome back. There's some jobs ready for you.
Of course it's a Bombo. I knew the whole time, man. Like, ah, my word. Those were the worst 3 speedruns or 4 speedruns I've ever had in my entire life. Let's do it again. Can't beat me 5 times in a row, right? It's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. And the way it's been acting throughout those hunts is not giving a Bombo slash twin slash Goryo vibes. It's just been absolutely terrible RNG on the eventing. I'm being thrown around, and it's you guys ever do speedruns and you get the same situations? This is what you get blessed with if you just stick it out. Can you imagine I decided to just be like, nah, it's over. Okay, what I like to do with Geogens is farm them for a little bit of media and then get out of here. So let's get ourselves a camera, video camera, we'll throw those 2 in there, and then we're going to get a voice recorder as well. Jolly good show. I'm surprised it took so long to... No photo. I'm sucking at these photos right now. There we go. Righty. We only managed to get 1 good photo, but it's enough. Whatever, dude. Well, that's nice footage for when I want to show speedruns and then different ghost types as well. And it does make it a little bit more interesting on how you can just walk the ghost around. Let me make sure that I have the DO marked, otherwise I'm gonna kick myself. Right, and you know what? I beat it. Okay. You'll be so rude. Why you gotta be so rude? That 7k makes up for every single loss that I've made today. Thank you for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure streaming some Phasmo for you guys today. I am on my way out. Take care out there. Have a wonderful week further. Bless in whatever you may be doing out there. Take care of yourselves. Good morning, good evening, good night, good afternoon, wherever you might be tuning in from. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.